Hello there. Waiting in the queue in TK Maxx to buy a purse, I looked at the various gifts and confectionery stacked before the checkout. On a shelf at my eye level was a die-cast model of a car, not one for playing with as it had been screwed to a plinth. It looked like a smart car but with the grille of another company attached to it. I did not know a model was made of a car that appeared to have disappeared as soon as it, appeared. Perhaps it was part of the marketing. Therefore, my initial thought upon seeing it was not, oh, that's interesting, but they really made that? There actually was a method to the madness that was the Aston Martin Cygnet. When Aston Martin announced in October 2010 that a concept car exhibited earlier in the year would enter production, they intended to provide the luxury version of the city car, like the Smart For2 or the Ford Ka. Indeed, it was feasible that many owners of their sports cars may want a Cygnet as their weekday vehicle, so they can enjoy the same level as luxury as in their DB9. The press release stated, "Luxury is not constrained by scale, and it is a car without compromise, just like every other Aston Martin." That said, for a four-seater car 2.5 inches shorter than the original Mini, the only real boot space was achieved by removing the rear seats. However, for a city car as luxuriously upholstered as a DB9 and painted with the same paint, £30,000 could have been a bargain. This is where the Cygnet starts to fall down. Its main reason for existing were European Union guidelines concerning the carbon dioxide produced by a car company's range of vehicles. Even though the emissions of their diesel models proved less than desired, the Volkswagen Group can balance out the CO2 produced by their Bentley and Bugatti models with their smaller models from VW, Seat and Skoda. Meanwhile, Aston Martin, not owned by a larger group, needed to introduce a car to cancel out the effects of their Vantages and Vanquishes. Although producing 110 grams of CO2 per kilometre, the Cygnet only reduced the company's average from 304 to 290 grams per kilometre. Even worse, the biggest problem for the Cygnet was that it was simply a tarted up Toyota IQ, which had been introduced in 2009. Badge engineering is a common practice in the car industry. A previous family car of ours, the Volkswagen Chiron MPV or minivan, was also sold as the Ford Galaxy and the Seat Alhambra, while the latest model Toyota Aygo, which replaced the IQ in 2014, is also known as the Citroën C1 and the Peugeot 108. What Aston Martin did in customizing the IQ into the Cygnet went beyond changing the badges, but the 150 hours they spent on each car, a regular Aston Martin took 200 hours to build from scratch, only extended to how the car looked and its interior. Just like IQ drivers, every Cygnet was stuck with a 1.3 litre engine capable of 97 brake horsepower, producing a 0 to 60 time of 11.5 seconds and a top speed of 106 miles an hour. I can only guess Aston Martin hoped prospective buyers would look past those figures. The Cygnet lasted only 2 years in production, from 2011 to 2013, with the media and public simply unable to look past the Aston Martin badge and grille without seeing the Toyota IQ behind it. I have only ever seen one in the window of Aston Martin's dealership in London's Park Lane, and have never seen one driven on the road. Aston Martin hoped for 4,000 sales per year. In the end, around 400 were ordered upon its release, with only 150 in the UK, and that was it. You're more likely to see a DB5 or DB6 on the road. For all I know, they probably sold more of those die-cast models. In June 2017, Aston Martin announced an all-electric version of its four-door Rapide S luxury saloon, the Rapide E, and that entered production in 2019. That's a bit more like it. Thank you for watching. As ever, the nostalgia culture crisis continues at www.dancingwiththegatekeepers.com, and I'm going to sit here while YouTube brings up a menu of my latest videos. Apparently it's going to be 20 seconds, so hopefully it shouldn't be too long.